So if you've ever heard cloud seeding, it's real. They're doing it. The United Emirates are doing it, and they've been doing it for a while. Let me read this article here. This is CNBC, so it's another clown network, but see what they have to say. So rising global temperatures have added a strain on regions like the Middle East, which is extremely vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. These nations are now faced with a big problem. How can they solve their water shortage issues? The United Arab Emirates averages less than 200 millimeters of rainfall a year, in stark contrast to London's average of over 1,000 millimeters and Singapore's 3,000 millimeters. So they're pretty arid over there. In the AUE, temperatures can reach as high as 50 degrees Celsius or 122 Fahrenheit for you Americano friends during the summer, where 80% of the country's landscape is covered with desert terrain. Extreme heat can exacerbate water scarcity issues and impose restraints on agricultural productivity in the country. The United Nations projects that by 2025, okay, this part of the article is kind of funny to me. They project that by 2025, 1.8 billion people will face absolute water scarcity across the world. They've been saying this alarmist thing for a while. I've actually watched a whole documentary called Blue Gold, or I think it was Blue Gold, talking about water and the scarcity of water, and they were saying around 2025. Okay, that's next year. All right. The Middle East stood out as one of the most water-stressed areas, with around 83% of the population in the region prone to experiencing high levels of water stress. With water scarcity at the core of the region's challenges, the Gulf state implemented a program aimed at addressing this issue. It's funny because they talk about water scarcity issues. Pretty sure the whole planet's full of water. What we have is a desalinization problem. How about you just throw desalinization plants all over the place and fund them? That'll take care of your water issues, but no money in that. Okay, so in the 1990s, the UAE introduced a rain enhancement methodology called cloud seeding. Cloud seeding is the process of increasing the amount of rain produced from the clouds above, which is designed to improve water shortage issues in arid regions around the emirate. By the early 2000s, the vice president of the UAE allocated up to $20 million for research into cloud seeding. The UAE partnered with the National Center of Atmospheric Research in Colorado and NASA. It's always NASA. NASA's always involved somehow, to set up the methodology for the cloud seeding program. The government introduced a task force called the National Center of Meteorology, or NCM, in Abu Dhabi, where more than 1,000 hours of cloud seeding is performed each year to enhance rainfall. The NCM has a weather radar network and more than 60 weather stations where it manages seeding operations in the country and closely monitors atmospheric conditions. This is how it works. Weather forecasters at the center can observe precipitation patterns in clouds and identify suitable clouds to seed, with the aim of increasing the rate of rainfall. Once they spot the right cloud, they instruct pilots to take to the air with their specialized aircrafts loaded with hydroscopic flares on the plane's wings. Each flare contains about 1 kilogram of salt material components and can take up to 3 minutes to burn and shoot into the right clouds. After the seeding agent is introduced into the cloud, the droplets increase in size, surpassing the cloud's capacity to sustain them against gravity, resulting in their release as raindrops. Seeding agents. So skeptics have long argued that governments who have introduced weather modification techniques to their skies are playing God. See, that's the thing, right? It's like every time we do this, every time we kind of play God, it doesn't seem to go well. We do it all the time with species where we introduce one species to counteract another species, or we'll do these, for example, killer bees, right? We made killer bees. We decided we're going to put an African bee with a European bee and, create this super bee. Well, you get what your unintended results of what you didn't think you were going to get from doing shit like that. So, I don't know, this might go the same way. We'll see. Almandus added that Abu Dhabi's program does not use silver iodide, a common crystal-like material used in a seeding agent in other countries. This material has been widely criticized for potential harmful effects on the environment and the public. However, some cloud seeding studies show there has been no substantial evidence to prove that at current levels it poses any toxic effects. Almandra said the center started manufacturing its own seeding agent called nanomaterial, a fine salt coated with titanium oxide, which is more effective than what it uses currently. So, okay, so they're trying to play God over there. They're trying to play rain God. And somewhere along the line, people got away from doing rain dances. I hear they used to work really well, but not so much anymore. Now what we do is we fly planes up into clouds, and that's the rain dance. So I don't know. We'll see if this works. We'll see if this creates other issues. Maybe acid rain. That'd be kind of fun. But yeah, I guess they got to do something over there where they're building where they shouldn't be building in deserts.